We've done it before. This can't.
So, for Diane. I'm not in that.
That's good. I mean, but they can draw me back there in 10 minutes early. So I
Which is super popular.
Yeah, she was. I ordered a coffee. I started selling coffee.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting, like reading just some of the things. It looks like
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see if they actually put together a like all macro session.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or depending how November goes, it might just be completely dead anyway.
Yeah.
Forever.
That's true.
I don't think everybody's.
Diane, anything else?
Yeah. Exactly.
Did you get the agenda?
I did.
Nice. Because we can't start the meeting till 7. Do we have agendas? You should be some.
So a few minutes, 7.
Yeah, we should just make sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do start beginning, that's what you said.
What is September?
No, I don't. I actually did not.
Look up there. So, when we do start the meeting, let's introduce Carson to everyone first.
Yeah.
Because she's staying. She's staying just for the beginning of the exec to meet everybody.
There's something else. There was the service of alcohol, heated tables, 45 days.
Two things. There.
I saw type in second.
Next last one.
Oh, so.
I was like, who's the other? Yes.
What? Sure.
This is just for August,
No.
unless you want to meet in
Yes, LA.
August. I can give you a schedule. if you want.
No, I just No, not that. The one that's in your hand.
Oh, this one?
That's, yeah. So this has been a really difficult. Oh my God. What?
Your support.
And it's very, very well. Makes a big difference. But what's going on is just, is what's going on. I don't mean that's the chat in the office, I mean the community is been difficult. Okay, Mr. Spencer. Not many people here. What?
Oh,
I
at least we don't have that.
I wanted to find out that.
Oh, the one that.
That's the only thing that didn't happen. So I'm recording this just for Diane's minutes, and then it's gonna get deleted. This is not a hybrid.
Yeah. So we need to,
None. Oh.
Diane, can you hear us, or do we need to talk into the mic?
No, you shouldn't be able to. Oh, she is. Can't hear?
I can hear you, but some of it is choppy. So if somebody's like giving a long report, maybe pass them the mic.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that land use was. Okay, so let's get started. Diane, do you want to do the roll call vote?
Yep, I will. So Andrea Gordillo,
Present?
Michael Avario, present. Sarah Bachu. Okay, Arnett Scott, Arnett, Diane Lake, present. Kay Webster, absent. May Lee. May there?
Who?
May.
She's here.
Yes, I see her. Okay. Damaris,
No,
Clint Smeltzer,
Here, present.
Trevor Holland, and Vincent Cerrito.
Here.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, this is Carson. She's the new AEM. Please welcoming her. And now you've got everyone's names, I think, from Diane's role taking. So, welcome. We're excited to have you here and we appreciate your service. And I'm excited to work with you all.
so I was gonna say, if you want to stay, I mean, I really wanted you to meet everyone and then to meet you. So you're welcome to stay, but if you want to go home, it's been a long day.
So, Susan sent out the language for the SLA guidelines. Does anyone have questions about it?
Pardon, I'm sorry, you want us to talk about it?
I mean, does anyone have questions about it?
But I could just say, I don't know if you all had a chance to read the guidelines that I didn't send this afternoon. But basically, they're operational, and I think they're very favorable to community boards. They're basically having us notified on everything and giving us input on everything. The two comments, I've actually, the seated, having customers be seated, it's very likely, it seems likely that was just an oversight when the law was made. No one knew until a few weeks ago that tables and chairs are no longer required as they have been in previous cyclical days. I did speak to the chair, so the new SLA chair is really very, very responsive and formally on a community board and very glad to have community input. And she said we absolutely should make that comment. It's outdoor dining, not outdoor drinking.
All right, should we take a vote on this, like separate votes right now? Right?
Yes.
Okay. And you help us record the votes?
Okay. You want to do a roll call?
That application will renew
What?
stipulation.
Oh,
Hold on, Liz has a question.
so the issue is, we also want to put it on our stipulations. And if we want to put, right now, our stipulations say must close at 10, and we want to add this as a, all patrons must be seated. And I'm assuming that if you vote on the position for the draft guidelines, that automatically allows us to put it on the stipulations because we're taking that decision.
And also that item I sent you today on 10th Street, the one that did review stipulation. That was the email that I sent back and he said.
But let's vote on
Okay.
this.
All right, Diane, I realized make the comments a little funky on the,
Well, it's yes, no, and abstain.
right, but do we all have to, can we just vote like,
It's roll call, just roll call. That's for Diane. The yes, no, and abstain is for Diane's yes.
Okay. So Andrea Gordillo,
yes?
Sarah Bachu. I can't hear Sarah.
Sorry, yes.
Thank you. Michael Lavario, still absent. Arnett Scott, still absent. Diane Lake, yes. Okay, Webster, still absent. Mei Lee,
Yes.
thank you. Damaris Reyes, still absent. Clint Smeltzer,
Yes.
yes. Trevor Holland. Can't hear you, Trevor.
Yes.
Thank you. And Vincent Cerrito.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so next we have to vote on delegating the hiring of the community assistant, or community assistant or associate.
It's.
I think it's community associate.
Anyway, what?
Associate.
It's a community associate, thank you. You guys said that you wanted to do it last month, but you did not formally vote on it. So this way, if you formally vote on it, then it goes to the vote.
Any questions? Okay, Dan, will you help us with another roll call?
Yes. Okay. Andrea Gordillo. And Andrea, can't hear you.
Yes.
Thank you. Sarah Bachu.
Yes.
Michael Lavario, still absent. Arnett Scott, still absent. Diane Lake, yes. Kay Webster, still absent. Mei Lee,
Yes.
thank you. Damaris Reyes, still absent. Clint Smeltzer,
Yes.
Trevor Holland,
Yes.
thank you. And Vincent Cerrito.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
If I could just make one comment, and May will be very surprised. Turns out the board doesn't have to vote on anybody, hiring anybody except a district manager.
That we define.
Because OMB on their personnel action report now says board vote or no board vote. And so I emailed and said, why are you asking this? What difference does it make? And he said, well, you only have to vote for district manager. Law department says the opposite thing, but we'll listen to what they pay us.
Still was a fun process.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Well, it doesn't mean that we won't use a personnel committee, it just means that it doesn't have to go to the board.
So I know we don't need to vote, but I was just looking at the website, so, well, it says, well, Edwin is the senior and then the associate, do you want it? Yes, do you want to change it to like senior, or just say,
No, we did that too. If you remember, we voted on that. I think it was actually during COVID. It was because he stepped up and did so much that it's not an official title. It means nothing for the city. It's something we were allowed to do. You know, it's strictly a community board 3 designation, and appreciation for how he stepped up. When he was there.
we talked about it, last week we talked about a bonus, like that, you know. But, you know, and I remembered at the meeting, I said, oh, we did it last time, we did it during Christmas time, but I looked back and we actually did it, we did it in July.
Right, it was
Right.
for a specific
Yeah, it
purpose.
was, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter when you do it, but it doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't. It was not a Christmas vote. It was, thank you for stepping up and doing all your extra work. And it came out, you're not allowed to do bonuses from city funds, it came out of our other funds. Okay, so we're done with all personnel.
Okay, so moving on to our board chair report. Yes, that's right. I'll keep it short, but I attended a few ribbon cuttings this past month. On a lighter note, the Tompkins Square Park had a big beautification project with Project Backboard and Glossier and WNBA. Trevor was there. It was great. Hope we can continue to encourage those kinds of partnerships in our community. And we also attended the Pier 42 ribbon cutting, which this board spent a lot of time over the years advocating for. It was really exciting to see. Trevor was not there, but he was there in spirit. But yeah, it was a lot of folks who've been fighting for resiliency in this community for a really long time. So it was great to be there. I think we have quorum. We only have 2 people. We have 3 people gone, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
4 people? Yeah, I think we barely have, actually, you're right.
10 of us, we have
We
10
have
of
5.
us, we have 5, so we don't have quorum.
Wait,
Isn't-
no, we have,
Isn't it majority? What's quorum? We don't,
What
what's
quorum
quorum?
is 50% plus 1.
So we don't have quorum.
We don't have a quorum, our, what?
we have
Oh,
7.
6.
I mean, Diane is.
Oh, Diane.
Diane's here.
Oh, yeah. And also those can't count. We have 6. I don't know why I was
And
thinking it
then,
was 5.
I think so.
Yes. So
Yes.
you're 7
It's a
people.
COVID
But
thing.
even if without Diane, we have 6, and that's fine. I, for some reason, I wasn't counting myself, and I was only counting 5.
how many times did you count?
A couple, when I said.
So going
So,
on.
I'm sorry for mine.
A lot of you, I think everyone here was at the new member meeting. Thanks for attending that and for welcoming the new members. I wanted to ask if you all would be open to getting a mentor or mentee. I still need to assign mentors and mentees, but I don't know. Is anyone here open to that? I mean, well, you guys are
Is anyone
probably busy.
opposed?
Yeah.
Is anyone refusing to do it?
You're-
Yes.
Okay.
Hand to it.
I
Hand to it.
mean, if you ever want to shoot me an email or somebody like
Even if there's
from
a bottle
your
of wine.
committees that might be good mentors. Yeah, okay, makes sense.
I got talking with Campbell before this committee with NC.
So I don't think Diane's gonna be able to take notes. Because we should capture who here is going to, or if they're not, if someone else is from the committee.
You broke the microphone.
I think so.
Yes, but you have a mic
I know,
there.
she's having difficulty hearing me.
Well, hearing
Can you
you.
hear me, Diane, when I'm talking in here?
Yes, I can hear fine with the microphone. So I can hear everything that you're reporting on. The cross chat is harder to hear.
All right, I'll try to limit that. Let me bracket that for now, but I have like a big temperature check on this. But I'll try and get everybody matched.
What does it involve this time? Sorry, Diane,
It's nothing really, anything complicated. It's just how we've always done it in the past is like that person goes to the mentor for like questions they might have.
Sit next to them.
Yeah, and just help them how to vote, yeah. I think that like how to vote is probably the most helpful thing. It's like having somebody that you can just like ask. Okay, what else? I'll leave a lot of these items to discuss with Susan. We had a rat mitigation meeting. We had various meetings about the public safety situation. And one of the ideas Susan and I were deliberating recently was sending out kind of like a newsletter to just keep people informed, or like a memo of some sort of, just to give people that are signed up to our mailing list guidance on what are proactive steps members can take and what the board is doing, which is a lot. And what are the elected officials, what are our partnership in addressing and mitigating some of the root causes of this violence. But again, I'll let Susan talk more about that. And I think that's it.
So what I was actually thinking, first of all, when I said it's been a very, very difficult month, it's because, you know, first we had several people stabbed and died on 14th Street, and which was tragic in itself. And community, there's tremendous community response, which is to be expected. And then I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, in Tompkins Square Park, there was a shooting. One person died. It seemed to be drug related. And we also had in Cerebral and the Roosevelt Parks operation meeting, and that park is unsafe. Nobody died very recently. There have been last year been deaths, again, a lot of generally drug related. People feel very, very unsafe. There is a big difference, I'd like to say, there's a huge difference in the way the community around SDR responded and the way the community up here responded. Downtown people are upset about not feeling safe. They are upset about drugs. They're upset about encampments, but there's no hatred. And they're not saying get rid of the homeless, and you know, they're just, you know, they want people to get services. They want to know what they can do to advocate to make it better. Up here, it has been vile. It's just been vile, and it's very difficult to even read emails from. And they go after elected officials. Harvey did say some emails that community boards taking lead, and then people got very upset with that because we, you know, doing. It's again really, really difficult. And they want the park to be safe. They want all the parks to be safe. But the issues in the parks are city issues. And you know, I will just push against any time just taking people out of the park and putting them on the next block so that the park looks nice. That is not solving the problem. The precinct, the 9th precinct, is very good about that. About how, you know, that they want to manage expectations, you know, that there are certain things that can't change. They will try and have patrols there, but even their resources, everyone wants a 24-hour patrol on 14th Street. They want a 24-hour patrol. Tompkins Square, you just can't do all that. And, you know, catching a drug dealer, and even if he does go to jail, it's not gonna change everything. Right now, Tompkins Square Park, they have the chess table area closed. This has happened before. First of all, people will just walk in, move the barricade, so it's not gonna work unless there's police there all the time. We're going to, we had a meeting about it today that was called by 9th precinct. And then I actually got 2 calls after the meeting. We think parks, you know, parks keep saying, can't you have NYPD there all the time? So we're saying, why can't we have PEP there? You know, why can't we have police enforcement in a park? So I think Caroline is gonna try and push for that. Because otherwise you're taking it away from police meeting other parts of our community. Is there anything more to say about those 2 incidents?
You want to add?
What?
You want to add? You know,
I was about to say the same. What? I think about talking about the car.
The 2 bridges. Yeah, that's actually what started all the tragedy. And I think, you know, people are ready.
That's a correlate. So,
Yeah, this was
sorry.
4th of July. It was a drunk driver coming in from New Jersey to go to a party boat at Pier 30.
He was refused from the party.
What?
He was
But
trying
he
to
came here.
Yeah.
That's why
what I mean.
he came here
It was
because of
actually a
party.
party.
Oh, he was on it? I didn't hear he got on it. I heard he was trying to play.
He was already on the boat, and then he was escorted off.
But the point is,
Yeah.
is he came here drunk because of the party boats. That's why he was here. I think, was it 4 people being killed at this point?
Yes.
EDC is holding a meeting. We don't have the exact date or time yet. I'm hoping it's by Zoom, so. But there will be a meeting. This, I think, there are actions you can take. This is my personal opinion. Those party boats don't belong there, and Trevor wrote an eloquent email about all the problems, and I think that email kind of says it all and what needs to be done. Those party boats don't belong in that residential area. It's not the kind of even boats that we were promised originally. I don't know, Trevor, we should talk about.
I can do it. I mean, I've written about it. We have had frustration with Pier 36 for years. Back in 2015, when we first met with EDC and Billy Betty, who controls the dock, we were promised all ships and family events and boats that you can get on the tour, and none of that happened. It's right now just tour and party boats. That's all we see. And one of the big problems that we have is that the party boats get their liquor license from where they dock at home. So 2 of these boats come from New Jersey. They get the license from Jersey City or Camden, Jersey City or Hoboken, and they control the liquor license. So when the boat comes back at 4 o'clock in the morning, you have 3 or 4 people getting on the boat, when they're drunk. And unlike what people think, most of those people drive as well. Want to see a whole world burn up. Go there at night and you'll see hundreds of people getting up the road. Massive traffic. So I'm hoping the meeting can come up with some solutions. I gave some solutions. We've talked about it for years. None of them have really been implemented. Maybe now we get some. I don't know what to do about the liquor license. That will require state.
They shouldn't have those boats there.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying the fact that they can get a liquor license in New Jersey and come here if they want.
Well, after the meeting, I think we should see what happens at the meeting, but I think we absolutely can ask to meet with Lily and Dan about this. I mean, she knows this community, she, has an affinity for this community. She's, the chair of the SLA.
But I say state legislation.
Yeah.
Only because.
But she's state. So she's state, and, I don't know if that would require legislation or not.
Question. What if their license is from Jersey?
That's my point.
Oh, it's from,
Some of them are from New Jersey. The thing is, your license is controlled by where the boat docks. So it could be Connecticut, it could be anywhere.
well,
We could say that if a boat comes here, it must have certain requirements.
and again, I think that would involve the state and particularly state liquor authority. Let's see what happens at the meeting and then, be prepared to take a step like that if necessary. Just the way it votes on.
Okay,
So,
other parts of your
well, I was gonna say, I have decided on a community associate, her name is Maya. She'll start, I think, the 3rd week in August. There are a lot of problems on Lower East Side, the Orchard, Ludlow, Ridington area, and it's gotten to the point that the police are complaining to me. That's really how bad it is.
You're talking about open street or?
Not just, well, some of it is open street. And one of the things that happens on the open streets is that small businesses will take advantage of the street being open, and they have events that might, like a DJ, celebrities, and that will bring in hundreds of people, and that can't be managed. It's unsafe. There are a lot that they'll have. So it's gotten to the point the businesses will go to the precinct for a sound permit. This precinct will say no, so they'll do it anyway. That's how bad it is. The residents are out of their minds complaining, both to the community board and to the police. The police are one to respond to complaints, but they also feel it's unsafe. So that happens on open streets. It also happens on streets that are not open streets. So the police are calling it pop-ups. because there's just these events that are unpermitted and they pop up. And the police have no way, they've gone to One Police Plaza. So when they complained to me, they told me they were talking to Manhattan Patrol South, they're working with them. They're trying to get guidance from One Police Plaza. We found out that the community affairs from One Police Plaza is also dealing with these complaints, but the different police divisions also are not speaking to each other. So that's why I called the meeting with all the different police. And I said, let's invite DOT, it's DOT streets, right? So Ed Pinhar was on vacation, so I asked Jennifer as the deputy commissioner. And she asked to bring Kyle, who is the head of Open Streets, Vincent has one, because he's come to the board. And I said, no, don't bring Kyle, everyone hates him. And that's exactly what I said. And, you know, he came to the committee and he didn't listen to the police at the committee. It was embarrassing. He didn't listen to the community at the committee. And, you know, he does not do any good down here. So she forgot to bring him. And he started this stuff and everybody was furious at me. The police told me that he was a villain. So I did a round of apologies after that. So he was just fighting back against them and not being at all helpful. We had Tim from the bid, who's the head of the Lower East Side bid, because some of it is in the bid, and he's the partner for the Open Street, and he's actually the one that can be most helpful because he can work, you know, with the businesses. So the kids, right now, all the police can do, if there's sound without a permit, they can give a summons to the person and they can confiscate the equipment. When it comes to everything else, there is no one person they can identify and deal with. And we have decided that what they really need, city needs is legislation to control this. For example, you remember when the guy was giving out PlayStations in Union Square and it caused a dangerous situation. There were no consequences because there are no laws. So we were thinking of how about going to the DOT committee in September with the police and maybe asking the council member to attend, talking about this and asking them for help in legislation.
What would the legislation be? I guess what's the, I don't know.
But they have experts to deal with.
Yeah.
City council has experts to deal with. So.
What is this? Because of like PD can't do anything about it? 'Cause
There's nothing, yes, there is nothing they can do. And what's happened now is, so they're saying, this is creating very dangerous situations. And when this happens, what we're gonna do is open up this closed street. And now DOT is getting very angry. So we're getting this hostile situation saying, you know, of course, if it's dangerous, it's your right to do it, but you shouldn't be opening up the streets. And the police are saying, and this is all on Zoom, if it's dangerous, it's our job, we're gonna open it up if we see fit. And we're getting into this really ridiculous situation, and it is dangerous, aside from the quality of life complaints. So it would be, I don't know what it would be.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a policy, it's a city policy for open streets to be in there, but there's nothing about, you know,
Well-
there's decibels, right, there's all these other things.
The sound is the only thing they can deal with. This is not to say that, this is not against open streets. This would be against the businesses or people that are taking advantage, whether a street be open or not be open, and having these illegal activities that cannot be pinpointed or summoned, because they didn't used to exist. This is something that never happened before. So we don't have to figure out what legislation we should be. We should just, we can't say this is getting worse. It started during COVID. It's getting worse. And, you know, the city needs to be able to deal with it. That's it.
I mean, isn't there some kind of law that prevents blocking the sidewalk and street with crowds?
There's no way they can pinpoint people for doing it. You want to arrest 200 people?
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
arresting,
like,
can't they?
Clint, the police have gone to one police plaza, they do not have a waiting.
You're just the community where there's SLA meetings, it's just the crowds are out of control.
It was like that event at, this is not like the crowd bar, you know, thing.
Yeah, but it's added to the crowd in the streets.
So anyway, is this something, depending on whether Chinatown Connections is coming back, is this something you would consider putting on your agenda?
I think so. I think it would be a really curious conversation, how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing else,
Who
it's,
would come to like speak about it? Like, it would be interesting
the
to see,
police
like,
will be there.
well, to hear from the police, but also hear from like the Lower East Side Partnership, who's more or less running that open street. Like,
But it
hear-
isn't just, not the majority, it's not just the open street. The majority of pop-ups are not on open streets. Sometimes they're on open streets, but often they're not on open streets. It's not, this is not targeting open streets. And it doesn't happen in open streets in other areas.
Yeah, that's where like,
Because they're
it's
not
like,
saturated.
It isn't even that, it's the type of business.
what's the sense, you wonder maybe you can connect it to like SLAs, and like how many of
They're
those.
not all bars, they're not,
I don't know.
most of them, if they were licensed establishments, it would be a lot easier. Most of them are not licensed establishments.
I mean, it seems worthwhile, we should have a conversation about it, shoe stores. and-
Yeah, sneaker stores, they're the big ones.
They're the ones that- yeah.
Yeah, so it's, again, it's not targeting open streets, it's not targeting licensed businesses.
Is this happening, like, when the open streets is supposed to be done by 10, open to the public, you know, streets open by 11, are these things happening? At the
It
7, 8
happens
o'clock?
on two open streets. One is Canal, one is Orchard. Orchard is of least concern because of the bid. But it's also happening on Rivington, it's happening on Ludlow, it's happening on other streets in the area. It is not, like I said, it's not an open, the police are not targeting, when they talk about it to me, they don't talk about open streets, they talk about pop-ups.
Yeah.
And they're saying some of them are on open streets.
And pop-ups, and again, pop-ups are happening.
In
when-
that area.
No, like, what time?
Weekends, Saturday, during the afternoon, these are during the day, these are daytime events.
Okay.
So people, they live through hell, no, you know, this is what they're going to do. We could easily bring residents, you know, I can have some residents come in and speak about it also.
It's good to have them come in and just speak, we should hear.
Okay,
Careful with this one. No, I'm not wishing for it, but it sounds like this is something that keeps bubbling up and it's,
started during COVID, it's got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. yeah, figuring out how to like disconnecting it from open streets. It's
hard.
And it's hard to do that because,
Well, I run a DOT like at that meeting, because whether it's an open street or not an open street, it's still a DOT issue. And,
it's like, right, it's figuring out how to regulate this, like who is the one to regulate it, not to getting rid of.
well, the
streets
police,
is-
the DOT has no enforcement powers. So it has to be NYPD. And,
DOT needs to have their own form of PEP.
pardon?
Maybe DOT needs to have their own form of PEP.
Well, but the issue is the primary issue is public safety.
I'm saying like, it's almost like community relations issues. It's like, we're not sending you to jail, but you know, you're kind of doing something wrong here. You really need to
The police have done all that.
get it to the back and then more we're gonna call.
So
You know,
the
it's like
seventh-
something- How do you de-escalate?
The 7th precinct community affairs are excellent, and they do tremendous outreach, and they speak to the residents, you know, go out. This is the precinct where the community affairs went to a migrant shelter and gave them education on how to comply with the rights, so that they didn't have to, you know, take them away. They do everything. They're really excellent. This is not police wanting to, you know.
No, I guess I'm just getting to that point of like, right, police have power over parks. Parks are open, right, now DOT is now, well, it has all their DOT plazas that they put in the past, you know, decade, 15 years.
Oh,
And
you're
now
saying
they're
like they
open
should be
streets, and, like,
managing it.
Is there something different that they need actually, like not pet because it's not parks enforcement, but like something of, like if that is meant by DOT to enforce their rules on the streets and these, I don't know.
I see what
I
you're,
guess we're always
no, I
asking
see
the
what you're
police to do
saying, the
more, like,
person
that's
in
like,
charge of that
let's
is
give everyone
Kyle.
else a PD to do this, but like bringing it back to DOT, you're the ones that are managing it.
Well, certainly ask him to be at the meeting, Kate will be at the meeting, and poor thing, she's just kind of thrown to the lions all the time. Anyway, we'll talk about putting it on the agenda. I'm afraid I think your agenda may be too crowded and have to figure out what other priorities on this agenda.
Yeah, can we just have a question, General? There was a fight on Canal Street between a resident and a business owner. The resident sat at the tables and the owner said that they eat over the drinks.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing, it's because of the air
There
conditioning.
was a fight on Canal Street at a restaurant. Resident sat down, owner said you can't sit here unless you order food and drink. Is that true or not?
It depends, if it's their roadbed shed, yeah,
It was just dining, Canal Street was just dining in the street.
I don't believe he's right. And if it were me, I would have said call the police. And if-
And they would have
Canal Street is not.
What?
Anyway, I just want to know what if anyone knows.
That's not their, it's public property, that's not, that they don't have the right, the restaurant doesn't have, first of all, the restaurant does not have a license from the state to serve in the street. They can serve alcohol.
Well, it wasn't just, it was the issue of whether the person could sit there or not.
It wasn't that they're buying, the person was sitting there not buying it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that doesn't belong to a restaurant. And on top of it, like, are people eating and drinking there?
Yeah, but it's the restaurant, they serve food. I know Canal Street has a bunch of chairs and tables.
But you know what? No, I don't think anyone's ever thought of it. They're not allowed to sell liquor.
Probably. But I was more interested because I didn't know the answer of whether that chair and that table, even though the
I
restaurant.
don't believe it's true. I don't believe
Right,
it's true.
they're not allowed to sell. License is extended to.
Correct. Yes, I don't believe that's true. And also, if people are serving liquor on open streets like that, I would like you to tell me.
No, I know. My issue is just.
I know that's your issue, but it all adds up. It all adds up.
Restaurant put the table out.
Yeah, if Canal Street or any open street, there's a bunch.
Now division?
Yeah. There's a bunch of chairs and tables.
Yeah. I thought that was public. That's restaurants are doing that?
Yeah.
As a
It
chair.
belongs to the chair belongs to the restaurant.
Only when it's open street, so when Canal Street's closed on weekends,
That's
the
what it's
restaurants put out like, they've got their
Couple
sheds,
hundred
but they.
This is so out, it's not a shed, it's a couple hundred
Yeah,
chairs.
it's like.
Yeah, no, I've seen that, and I just assumed that it was public. I didn't know that the restaurants were
We
putting
went,
that out.
we went too early, because that night's not.
Oh, nighttime.
Full with pager.
It's definitely full. Yeah,
Okay,
I've been back. My
Okay.
area is like.
So Lower Canal has to close at 10 now, board voted, and, that went through. DOT paid, paid heed to a resolution, and all those streets now have to close at 10.
So where can I look that up? Because I'm not sure. So somewhere-
On the open street web, there's an open street,
They won't,
Because I couldn't
they
find
won't
that
deal with that.
particular
it
issue.
says the hours, though, doesn't it?
He's talking about middle of the street, this is not a,
Oh, you mean looking up if they can sit there?
I will find out. I mean, I'll confirm it, I'm sure I'm right, but I'll confirm. Okay, so those are the street issues, I wanted to put that on the agenda. It's the open streets. I guess one other thing, the rat mitigation that, Rhea, we had a meeting with DOT and rats. And, so it turns out that when DOT is dismantling sheds now, this is not previously, when DOT is dismantling, they have rat mitigation plan, just like when you do construction, you have to have a rat mitigation plan. However, and this came from Department of Health, this information. However, when restaurants dismantle their own sheds, which is what they're supposed to be doing, there is no mitigation, no nothing, no guidance, no nothing. So this came up at the meeting, Carolyn Breck, and some of you know, is the head of the that division of Department of Health. And she also is just an amazing person. And so I think we're kind of at work coming up with guidelines. I contacted the Hospitality Alliance and asked if they would, when they have the guidelines, send them out to all their restaurants, which they agreed to do. Cooper Square is going to do it for the restaurants around here. And I still have to contact, there's a bid and somebody else is contacting. So we're just trying to at least get out information. What?
Maybe?
They're going, they work with Cooper Squares, that's it. So at least we're getting information out there, so I felt that was very productive. The other thing we found out is the city does what they call indexing. They inspect every property more than once a year for grant findings. But that's, but there's no one doing that in the street because there's never been a reason, so there's no protocol for doing that. Again, this is something we found out from the Department of Health. And there isn't going to be any protocol for doing that. So that's an issue. We're not going to have restaurants in the roadbed, but no inspection for rents. So that's just the way it is. The last issue I want to bring up, sorry for being so long, this is about community complaints in general. And I've been concerned, I mean, our job, we're mandated by city charter to deal with community complaints. That's our job. And even, sometimes people will come to us and say, for instance, do this, something we can't do. But we still have to look at their issues and try and deal with it in some way. And there are sometimes at committees right now where the majority of people, sorry to do this, and it's more than one committee, but it's mostly transportation. Where people come in with really legitimate complaints. An example are seniors who are terrified of bike lanes, not because of the bikes, but because of lack of enforcement. They're scared. And it's not just seniors, and there are other people, and they voice various concerns. And their concerns are not always addressed. Sometimes they're just totally dismissed. And it's like, well, we believe this, so, we believe bikes are better than cars, cars will kill more people than bikes. And again, using this as an example, and I don't think we should be permitted to do that. There has to be some way. For instance, you don't have to be against bikes, but you can perhaps ask for how do we get better enforcement? Can we reach out to bike advocacy groups and ask if they can help? There's got to be some acknowledgement of a problem. It's embarrassing. It's against our mission, which is to consider the needs of the district. And you guys are the board, so I'm just kind of giving that to you. Please do so.
This was about the bus island.
It was way before that. The bus is one tiny little thing. This has been going on for 2 years at least, probably longer, but it's been.
It's a big group, like, I want to say a year ago, right? So they came.
The senior group there.
They had that funky name, Salt, yes.
But that's only one example. Again, it's only one example.
And I think I remember when the salt came, one of the things that we talked about was for them to like you just said, actually go to transportation alternatives, see if you can do that. But it was like trying to talk about and again, you had to get a bike rider just in general in the city. It's terrible wherever. It's just like
But some of the dismissal, I'll give another example, open streets. The police came to the committee and talked about all the complaints they are getting, and that was basically dismissed. Used to happen in SLA, it doesn't anymore, but it used to be for years in SLA, say last 2 years, where again, it's like, well, I believe that so-and-so shouldn't have this, so therefore your complaints are.
It's all about dismissing, it's dismissing the public, for whatever topic it's about. It's deciding the public opinion doesn't matter, it shouldn't be heard. And that's been going on for a while, and there's been a movement amongst some of the board members that's been happening for a while. And I disagree 100% with that. I don't care if I agree with them, but we have to do it respectfully.
So I'm gonna give just an example of how it, like, we had Ninth Street Block Association come to the SLA this month and say, please deny this. We have too many bars here, we're very concerned, it's causing a problem. And we said to them, basically, we can't deny it. This is the best business you're gonna get here. But, you know, we're doing these resolutions that will address your concerns. If there's any problems, we promise that, you know, we will work with you in the business. And, you know, I said, this business, you know, we understand your concerns, but we really believe this business is gonna address your concerns better than any other. So it's not dismissing them.
And it goes a very long way to at least hear them. Even if you say, we hear you, and I'm gonna put it in a whereas clause, that your complaints are here, that goes a long way to at least making them feel heard, as opposed to disregarding their comments and voting, even if the outcome is the same, if they feel heard, and you say, we're gonna include that in a whereas clause in the resolution, that goes a long way to helping them feel heard. That's a lot of the times, that's all they want to be is heard. They may understand they're not gonna get an outcome they want, but at least they want to be heard.
And we had stipulations like they're gonna tell people they can't come before their reservation and live in the street and various other things, you know, that are small things. They didn't hurt the business, but they addressed the concerns.
I'm just kind of, but what I'm saying is, for the last 4 years I've ever seen, is that a lot of the board members don't understand. So how that should be addressed. Because if we're talking amongst ourselves, that's fine, we have this experience, but I don't see a lot of board members that get built. Just
That's
Are
intentional.
you guys didactic about this in committees? Like, are you guys like, do you guys kind of go over this with members?
well, I have the Bible committee, so
The what?
all my folks on it. I meant to say experience.
Diane, strike that from the record, that was a joke that we should not
No,
say.
but we have more, I said experience. And so there are a lot of folks who've been on the board for a while. I got 14 members now, so it's a pretty big committee. So, and the new members we have, I'm gonna try and express it, that we need to at least listen to people
Yeah,
and not be just dismissive completely. I don't wanna listen to you because I'm right and no.
I think it's helpful to explain like how do you listen to people? You know, rather than just like saying, we need to like vote one way or another. I think like, just lead into the process of like how you do that, right? So simple as this.
I like
Right,
what you
you
say,
said,
like,
you just
with
said.
that, yeah,
But
I
like,
think
this
that's
comes
like,
also
cause
with
it
being
is,
really prepared for the, and then that's the burden of being committee chairs, you have to plan these things.
That's what I would say, like, can we have more like shared chairing of committee meetings? Because like I'll say, I've learned a lot since working with Arnett and working with Clay. Both of you are phenomenal at this and changed my thinking about it. And so when I started sharing cannabis, like Arnett set a really good standard. And like I will say, like I've had people write thank you notes to me for sharing difficult things. People have been very supportive simply because, yeah, they felt heard, and I think that that's, like I think that that's valuable, but it comes innately to some people, and I think just like having the opportunity to chair often puts you in the position of having to be everybody know what you're talking about, but for newer members, I think that could help set a standard if they have some piece that they have to step aside from that. I know what she's talking about, but I also think.
May or may not want to.
Well,
Depends
not,
upon the person, right?
but if we're talking about new members, just generally, not particular people.
There's like a few different types of new members, so there's new members that joined last year, ones that joined now, so.
And not so many members. You know, I don't want to blame, I think we see it more in new members, but it's certainly not just.
I mean, like, it might be as simple like that, just reminding them, like, you are one person, but you are trying to represent the whole community of thousands of people, and they're trying to listen to it and get views, and yeah, it's kind of hard to like take yourself out of it and listen to people. That's what I like when you said, just talking about those dissents, maybe like a dissent of what's not agreeing with the committee, where the committee's going, but then how do you actually get some of that dissent in the resolution?
But there's often a way to address problems that may, it's not like yes or no. Again, I'll use the bike lanes. It's like the island. Like people were afraid of a certain situation. They're afraid, and they have a right to be afraid. And it is dangerous when you have bikes that don't follow the rules to cross. So the problem is enforcement of rules.
It's like,
So
it's like everything in the city. Like, I don't understand why we have any laws, because people just do what they want to do anyway.
well, that seems to be the way, and it's going to get worse. But from us, I mean, to at least put something in, ask an agency to work with us on the enforcement. It's not like just saying, well, we hear you, but we can't do anything. Maybe we're still going to support the island. You want us to not support the island, we're still going to support it, but maybe we can get better enforcement so that your problems. So the latest on that, by the way, I don't know if you know, is it turns out they never worked with Con Ed, and there's all these bolts and things underneath. And Con Ed said every time they have to do something, they'll have to destroy the island. So I think that's going to be revisited.
Because it's very different if it's just painted, because then it's not an island.
That's not an island.
Right.
Then you have the bikes going here and down this.
It doesn't work the way it's designed, like right now, and it's got lots of problems.
But it isn't just any one issue. I think seniors on bikes seniors with bikes are a big issue. It's used to be
Seniors on bikes are a big
No,
issue.
seniors regarding bikes. I call it.
That's not
It's something the senior groups
Feel strongly about.
feel strongly, and individuals, like if you go to a police precinct meeting, you will hear this a lot. Like I say, it used to be SLA. I think the committee has just changed, and so when the committee changes and people address the issues, even though they might be supporting a license, it just changes the whole thing.
All right, should we move on to the?
That's the end of everything.
Okay. Also, Susan Wong forgot maybe if she celebrated 20 years last Friday.
This,
Congratulations, is that
just give liquor, just give liquor.
But not.
So now we go to district meetings.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna be fast.
Okay.
So I am so thrilled I can hand this over to Carson. I can't talk. I just want to discuss the status. I think we're in really good shape. I think we have most everything. I want to discuss what we're waiting for. I think in parks, we're still waiting for the garden information, and that's it.
No, we got it.
Pardon?
We got everything.
And you sent us the garden information? Okay, I will.
It's in my email. It's the minutes and the district minutes.
Oh, with the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, I never opened the minutes, so.
Well, it's the second attachment, but it's there. And it has the updated.
That's why I'm glad I'm doing this, because.
So we're waiting for just the library.
Yes, so that was
And
my second.
the updated information.
Yes, so that was my second thing, is that I am waiting for updates on both rodents, both for parks and for public safety transportation and libraries. I've been promised it will come within a few weeks. Human services, we're just waiting for schools and capital priorities. Are you doing?
I'm still waiting for them to respond back with the social workers. The You want me to find out about capital?
Well, I actually, yeah, we should find out for, District One. I did put in the budget council questions, does every school have a social worker, does every school have a nurse? But it would be good to know specifically a nurse.
Yeah, she generally responded about like, in general, what were the top, like for the whole, was something about air conditioning, auditoriums and something else. But we're talking about the rank, you know, let's have this.
Yeah, because we have our own
Schools.
district capital plan in which we rank, we rank from one to whatever, to
Can I-
what's more,
That's
what's more.
Can I get that bit by Monday? We have to turn in our everything by Monday.
All right.
And so last year, one of the things on the school's list had already been funded. But so if I can have it by Monday and, you know, get the DOE to look at it before we vote on them, that would be helpful. So that's human services. Economic development, which we don't have, so I had an idea that last year we got little, information from each bid. What I would like to do is just send that to all the bids and have them updated. Right? Arts and culture you're gonna
Yeah.
do.
I'm talking.
And then my last issue, this was an issue last year, is landmarks. And, so this is what we had last year for landmarks because I think it was, I don't know, I think it was, that just cut out a lot of stuff that was not really district needs. So my fault and my problem is I went to every committee except landmarks. And so they just put in all this stuff that's not a district need. And I would like you to executive to deal with it. It's just not a district need. And Sarah, we never did anything on campus. We don't have to. I don't see any district need, to be honest. I mean, the only district need is the enforcement thing. And this is for a year starting from, this is for next July. It's not for now. So I don't think it's an issue if you want to just let it go.
Can I just ask, because I've been curious about, how has it been with the city's increased enforcement?
Well, they're closing.
I've noticed some.
We are closing places that are staying closed and, you know, they're doing more and more every week.
Yeah, I heard from the DA's office that, and I don't know if this is an issue in our community district, please, that in Manhattan, one of the issues is that some people are breaking the padlocks. So I wasn't sure, I was curious.
I have not heard that from any of our places.
Is that one needs McDonald's?
It reopened, Mr. McDonald's. Oh, that one, they didn't close that one. And it's the one that goes down the stairs, not the CBO one, but there's another one that people purchase from. And the NCOs came to we had a meeting with the NCOs. What is that? I don't remember what that stands for, but the neighborhood. Yeah, those people. They came and what they informed us on is that they did not feel like that particular, place was, high on their, priority list because we had another establishment across the street by the subway station. Which reopened, but there was a lot more, hanging around in that area. So they wanted, and there were shootings, that's really important to see. So they wanted to close that one, but they left the other one alone.
They're getting to it.
Yeah, and but they also said on the 7th precinct is that they are down 2 or 3 officers because of the hot spots in the city, that they had, every precinct had to loan officers out, and because we're such a small area, they don't really have that many to begin with. So they're down, and they've been struggling as far as maintaining information on cannabis shop.
Is this 5th or 7th?
It's a 7th.
Just a curious note, the one on Rutgers and Madison was notorious, and it's like 5 people got shot, stabbed, and it's a horrible corner. So they closed it twice, and then they closed it recently, and then it reopened again. And that was this one, they have 2 offices there 24/7, every single day. There's still shootings. But it's all because of that shop, and everyone thought it was closed, and it was good, and the new laws, and it's high priority, one of the top ones in the 7th precinct, and then a week later. it was shut.
Is that the one that came up when they heard the application?
No,
This one is-
it's across the street from it.
Okay.
I don't even.
So
know.
I would say in general, a lot are staying closed. I don't know the specifics on this one. It could, I don't know when they reopen, or just as someone was.
Oh, it's
Yeah, they doubled it.
I don't know the situation.
Eatery is half, like,
it's
Lots of
just,
places in
it's
the back.
pretty close, and then, and they deal outside.
We're at least seeing progress where we didn't have any progress. I will say we have a number of legal months now. I've never had one complaint about it.
Could I maybe just contribute a few sentences, I can do it even now, that's just like continued NYPD enforcement, because that's the thing that people come to our meetings on cannabis, and they don't understand we don't have any, like, that's not what that meeting is for, so they just.
Well, and until recently, the city had very little power. That's a service delivery issue. It's really a service, and again, this is a year from now. I don't think we're gonna have these problems a year from now. Because they've changed the law. I mean, they're
It's
able to.
more, it's more like information sharing with the community, because they'll see it.
That's not what the district needs. It's about our unmet needs going to the agencies. What agency, so that would be under police. You know, what are you gonna, I don't see what new unmet need we're giving the police. You wanna do it more for the community information,
Yeah, like, because I think people come and they want
but that's
action.
not what the district needs for the police. It's not to say, as much as I say we wanna hear you, that's not what this statement is. This statement is to go to the agencies about our priority needs. And
So you don't think enforcement is a need?
I don't think enforcement of cannabis is gonna be an unmet need a year from now.
I don't have such a just.
I think maybe it needs to be.
And I
Like,
think.
because I think a lot of people feel the way you feel.
Yes,
Trevor, and
it's
I
not a
really
service
just-
delivery, it's an issue right now, it's unmet right now, you're predicting a year from now, it may not be.
When did we?
I don't think it hurts.
Last October?
So wait, so this is why, when, the thing is, if you want enforcement, it's gonna go under the police, it's not gonna be a cannabis thing. It's gonna be, that will go under the police, we would put that would be under police. And if you want,
I'm
if
just,
you would like, I can add to at least to their budget priorities, I can at least add that on the police one, because I'm actually chairing that meeting with the police. So, we could add about enforcement and budget and all of that under the police.
I would have had more faith if that one shop, which has 2 cops 24/7, despite all the issues in the city, 24/7, reopened.
You mean if it didn't reopen?
It reopened after all, I would have had more faith.
Trevor,
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, if you send me the information, I will try and find out exactly what's going on, it may be helpful.
But I think for me, I think a lot of people haven't necessarily seen the changes yet. And it has been a hot mess since OCM came to fruition, so I think it's just, I've used like district needs assessments as a citizen, like in various jobs, like in the great care proposals, that will say like, these are some of the issues in the community. I understand the purpose in the charter, the bylaws is for this purpose, but I'm just saying, I think it's helpful sometimes to community too.
But that's not what it, I'm gonna be realistic on that, that's not what it is.
Yeah, we can put that in a
It's-
newsletter or something.
Yeah, it's not what it is, and we have voted on the exact about district needs, that it's bulleted, high priority unmet needs, and this is an agency thing, this is, you could do that in another way. I will definitely add to the police budget questions. It may be a priority, maybe you can tell the committee that we need, make it a budget priority for, if that is one of the issues. But that's not, the district needs is just not that.
I'm sorry, I don't even believe it. For the For the closing, I need some clarity. Is the sheriff's office and the police doing it
Correct,
together?
correct.
All right. So,
And the state.
and
And the state.
okay.
So previously, the sheriff and the police really didn't have the authority to close them themselves the way they can now. They have a lot more authority in the city. Before, they had to only do it with the state. And, you know, I don't know all about the law, but I know they're much more staying close. I actually think people, are responding. I hear a lot of people talking about how many have been closed, and what's still open, the conversation you were having before. That's what the conversation is now. It's like, okay, these have been closed, you know, we need this next, we need this next.
Okay, so my additional question is, under public safety, for our district needs, knowing that they moving police officers out of the district to go other places, what, under our district needs, would it be, to ensure that we don't lose officers? Because let's say we have 5 officers and 2 are removed, and they say, okay, you guys can function with the 3, you don't need the 2. And so then maybe we lose. So is there?
And actually that is an issue that everyone's talking about. We have vacancies in every one of our precincts right now. And so one of the things we're asking for, and it's more of a budget issue. It's 2 things. It's a budget issue and it's a recruitment issue. So that you will be, I'm suggesting you'll probably be voting on that as a budget priority. And that is absolutely an issue. And, you know, it's an issue with the 14th Street and Tompkins Square and all that. It's like, well, I want police here, I want police here, I want police here. Not only can we not do all of that, we don't even have full staffing to even, you know, do half of what we should be doing. And yes, pulling police out to go in the subways, to go wherever, when you don't have enough is a real issue.
Because I think that also lends the concern to cannabis shops. Like if we're doing this enforcement and it's sheriff and police combined, but now our police department doesn't have the staffing, and then it will look to the community like the police are not doing anything. It's not that they're not, they physically don't have a person, or, you know,
They don't have enough.
you know what I mean? So I wanted to see if there's in our district needs that we point out that we need an adequate number of police officers in order to enforce this.
So I think that goes on, I think that becomes one of our budget priorities.
Okay.
And absolutely, you know, we voted on that before, and it should be, and we've asked very specifically, we asked for the number of vacancies in each precinct in Manhattan. And we asked what is the full staffing and what are the number of vacancies in each precinct in Manhattan. So we'll have documentation to back that up.
Susan, just real quick, I want to talk to them, just on terms of enforcement. So the complaint was put in about their marquee sign, even though that's everyone violates the marquee sign. You know, the separate story. They took that back. So that was actually one of the things that happened. But the store stayed open. It's just kind of funny how the sign came down.
So that was a DOB thing.
No, I'm just saying it's funny how enforcement. Yeah.
They will try and get any clock.
Yeah.
So we're done with the district needs. I just wanted to do the status. And I'll follow up with you on arts and culture and with landmarks.
SLA, nothing to report.
So we had Parks come talk about the Baruch bathhouse. There was a proposal to put an ice rink instead of there. Meeting a few months ago, community didn't seem unified on what they wanted there. At least they didn't really understand that they kind of approved it beforehand, and then the developer came to the meeting. The developer was like, "Well, I thought we were already past that." Long story short, they never raised enough money through a nonprofit to build it. Parks came to us to say, "Can we issue our FBI to see if anyone's interested?" So we voted on that. There's a resolution. See, where they're gonna issue it again, but we spent 4 or 5 years through that process, and it was long, and I was part of that task force. We're gonna go through it, see if we can get something. It's 20 million just to demo the building, because a lot of people said just demo it and have a turf, but folks don't understand that demo, especially in a sensitive location, or building, asbestos, it costs, it's a hand, they have to pull down by hand, to bring it in.
So you're starting the process over?
Parks is gonna start.
Or Parks is starting the process over?
I don't know who's gonna run that task force. I'm not gonna.
No, I'm just, I mean, I follow it closely.
Never did.
So,
Damaris, I think, is like playing.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I need to
She
raise
wants
that.
she wants a rose, so
I want to raise that, did I? No,
She
that
wants
was another
what?
issue. I'm sorry.
I was gonna talk to you aside.
So-
But we'll talk.
What does she want?
She's,
Parks is,
I don't know. who-
Parks is they're gonna restart from the,
And
wasn't there two?
The other one didn't have any.
She wants what?
a CD.
It was just a thought, we'd like to build,
Oh,
anyone
the
else
task
with
force.
experience in it. It didn't meet the RFP.
I didn't
Oh, it didn't meet the RFP
No,
requirement.
it's not even close to it. It's like if I just went and said, well, I want to put, a stadium in there. Well, you have any experience? No. You have any money? No, but I got a great idea, but I don't meet the RFP proposals. So I think people have difficulty understanding that you have to meet the RFP. So they didn't just not choose it because, they're nonprofit, they've never done it before. So if you don't meet the RFP, they're not considered. They may meet it the next time, but I don't think so.
Looks like if I
Part of
started
the
out
RFP was to get money,
Yeah.
and they had no money.
They don't-
Oh,
You know, they
that's a
wanted,
problem.
it's like, this is what I want, and someone else has to pay for it.
So I just hope the next time, because I don't know where I'll be, this will be 4 or 5 years down the line, that the bodies will guide us, that if we decide as a task force that we like a proposal, that when folks come and complain about it because they don't like ice skating, and they think it's not for the neighborhood, that we don't have that same problem we had after 5 years of task force meetings.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, we don't have anything to vote on, but, in the September meeting, you know that the state gate on 91 East Broadway, it's supposed to open August or September, they say, and
Oh, so we should go back to it.
the provider will become, Care for the Homeless will be coming to our September meeting to update us on what's going on. So it's the first time in a long time they've been to, a community board meeting, but they are ready to open on East Broadway. The other thing is today I went to a meeting of, this thing, it's called D1 and Open Arms, but it's this, it's coordinated by the Interfaith, the Disaster Relief Coalition, but it's, coordinating different community groups and nonprofits who are involved in, providing some kind of services to the so they meet on some lines, and the elected officials headed to when we went. So the meetings are short. I mean, it's the first one I went to, it was short, and they just talked about the mission statement, so they have a little break after we're supposed to talk about it. But, so it's mainly, their mission is mainly like sharing information and resources. So I mentioned that CB3. The other thing is that we had taken positions and that we don't actually provide services. But, so it sort of gave them the idea that they should also maybe think about like some kind of shared advocacy. Maybe not the shopping events. Something else they would take.
I couldn't go because of the Tompkins Square.
Oh,
So
that's
it's funny because that's,
It's the same thing, I mentioned, that's where we spent a lot of time, that's Tompkins Square and St. Bridget's thing, so.
they're gonna start having them in the fall in person.
The interfaith things? Okay.
Sorry to be backtracking, I have one important thing. I will not be here at full board. Diane is now our new vice chair, to Sarah's point. So it's she, not to say that I know my time is limited here, but Sarah, Diane is not going to be our vice chair. So she will give the report, and I anticipate I'm going to miss some meetings. I haven't missed many previously, but I anticipate I'm going to miss quite a few meetings. I'm just going to try and stay at 6.3 or whatever the percent is, 66.
I'm gonna say something.
I need to go back to the committee as well. There's nothing on our committee, but Susan and I talked about this right before the meeting.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring up, this is dining out. And we're very shortly gonna be, I think, overwhelmed with applications. DOT is still being very obstinate about working with us, we still don't have access to the portal. But right now, everyone has signed stipulations, and so they've been administratively approved. I think that's been about 5 applications so far. And we're adding to the stipulations now after the board vote, the comments that people must be seated. So the 2 basic stipulations we're asking for people are closing at 10 o'clock and being seated to be served. DOT, I think what we do with DOT is irrelevant. They're gonna just approve everything. They told us they don't wanna know about our stipulations. They believe everything should be under 12. And I said, I just wanna go on the record. The whole issue is that we will then send these stipulations to the SLA. The SLA is so far very sympathetic to it. So there's a couple of things that our meeting with the SLA, they suggested that instead of having stipulations, instead of having to vote on this every time, that we vote to have everything closed at 10, and we notify the SLA, and they will support that. And then we have, if we ever want to change our mind on an individual thing, we will have the right to waive for an individual. So I would like, I guess next month we should put it on your agenda and then vote maybe in September. I would like the board, if you guys think so, I'd like the board to consider that. We need to streamline this. So I want to say there are other boards, like CB2 is going to have a lot of applications. CB2 doesn't have murders. They don't have all the stuff that we have. We are, as far as I know, the only board in the city that has the number of SLA related stuff and other issues that some community boards deal with and some don't. Certainly none of the ones around us. And I think we need to recognize how unique we are. And so I just want to streamline this process. If someone refuses to sign stipulations, I would like us to administratively approve the denial. I'm still all over the full board, but it won't be a committee.
So next question, you said that you anticipate a lot of this coming.
The reason why I was the reason why Susan is saying, with the current program, the new program as it's written, they have until August 1st to apply for the new program. If they apply for the new program by August 1st, they have 30 days from when they're approved to meet the new requirements. So I have a feeling that DOT is going to be overwhelmed as well. So most likely, if they're applying by July 31st, they're going to be able to continue operating the entire rest of this season under the old rules without having to meet the requirements until November. Because most likely, I won't be surprised if the DOT doesn't get through the backlog before the end of the year.
But on top of it, each road bed is one application. Each sidewalk cafe is another separate application. And then their application to the SLA is another separate application. So that could be many restaurants, each having 3 applications.
But so that's why Susan's expecting an avalanche, because they're going to have to apply by August 31st or by July 31st, which is August 1st, if they want to continue being in the program. If they don't apply by then, they have to take all of their roadbed dining and sidewalk cafe dining down after August 31st.
No,
Right,
if they
if they're
If they
smart.
don't apply.
If they don't apply.
They can keep it till November. If they do.
No, if they don't apply, they have to take it down within 30 days.
I think it's the opposite, but it's irrelevant for the number of applications.
So in any case, if they're smart, they're just gonna wait as long as they can, and then
That's the
apply
part.
the applications, and you just prefer to streamline with 2 of those sentences. I'm just, from the last few meetings, I'm anticipating some folks saying, well,
We have over 40 in the portal right now. that
no,
they're
Susan,
looking
I
at.
agree, I'm just looking at for more, because we had a fight over 10 PM on Canal Street, which is a problem. that folks are gonna see the 10 p.m. saying, we believe the city should do it. Folks read, whatever.
So right now.
I think we need to emphasize a streamlining process, because I was wondering why we see any applications.
But the difference was, those restaurants on Canal Street have all agreed to the 10 p.m. They were saying the restaurants would close at 10 p.m. and the open street would still stay open.
Right.
That was the point of that. There wasn't much disagreement about the restaurants closing outdoors at 10 p.m., but they wanted the open streets to stay open.
I'm just saying that we can clarify that.
Because
Whenever
it
we.
solves traffic deaths.
Yes, slows traffic.
I'm just saying if we can make sure that's explained, because I would imagine if I were with this, I'm waiting until August.
I think that's what the majority of them are doing.
So it's too late to do it now, but we'll do it on the August agenda, which hopefully will be a little bit later, and then vote it for the board. September. Yeah, we have to streamline. It's gonna be a burden in the office, but we can't have it be a burden both in the office. And then there are some residents, the head of the Fifth Street Block Association has been emailing me. I don't know if you.
Oh, yes, that's right.
CB2 is hearing everything. They did a separate committee.
CB2 is doing a lot.
Yeah, and they not only do that, they go out and they measure every sidewalk cafe. The other boards aren't doing this. It's not our job.
I think Clinch.
It's not our job. We have never had a complaint about a sidewalk cafe. Why are we all of a sudden expecting it? So what I told them, I said, look, if you think something, if you go out and measure and you have some complaints, tell them to me. I will put them on the feedback that this is, check this or check this. Those aren't
I think
our
what they're not
issues.
understanding though, they're not understanding that we really have very little say in it. Like that's, I think, what they're.
They don't want to admit it. They want to be able to say something regardless of whether it's productive. That's the issue. They want to do that.
But I think because they're here in CB2, they think we have say in that, and that's what we need to get across to them.
So Fifth Street Block Association has never complained about a single sidewalk cafe in the last 20 years. So I don't know why all of a sudden going to be complaining about it. But CB2 doesn't have other work that we have.
Yeah. And
it's not productive. It's,
Just
there's no bang
aside.
for your buck on spending time on this stuff. The SLA is going to support us. The DOT is not going to support us. And, let's just streamline it.
Just as an aside, and this is not based in fact, it's just from our last couple meetings. The one thing that I've been noticing, we're getting applications for new licenses, separate from the robo dining. We're asking them because one of our stipulations is I will not use outdoor space or I will close all outdoor space by 10. About half of them are actually now saying they won't use outdoor space, and then a few of them are saying, oh, we're going to do a sidewalk cafe. Several of them are saying we don't want robo dining. It seems to be kind of. Now, again, this is just the applications coming, most of them are new, but I'm surprised to hear that a lot of them are saying we don't want to deal with the robo
They
dining.
are, but even if only,
know.
it's gonna be
It's
fine.
still gonna be a lot,
It's gonna be fine.
but it's reassuring to hear that at least they're not all coming and saying, we want road bed, there's at least some of them moderation. Anyways,
Anyway, my concern is streamlining.
yes, I agree.
Okay, we'll move on to land use. Maris is obviously not here to talk about it, but it's 5 hours of discussion. Yeah, I know, does anyone wants to?
It was 4 hours and 59 minutes, because I left.
Movie night. Oh, 59.
We did 4 hours and 59 minutes.
Unfortunately, we don't have the copy of the resolution to.
I asked them, I said I need it by noon tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we send out the vote sheet and we absolutely, people will be really upset if they don't read the resolution ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I don't know the status of that.
Can I ask a question? Damaris is a great chair, her title is intern, is that keeping her intern or?
For the time being, yes, she committed to between 6 months to a year.
Okay.
That was like maybe 3 months ago. So her and I haven't talked about her moving on.
Okay, I'm just asking.
She was
because
even open to staying on more permanently.
Mhm.
It would be pending on her giving us some other applications.
Just like the best chair. She really is.
It's just, it gets complicated, because, she has a lot of commitments,
I know, yeah,
so it,
yeah, she
She
is,
doesn't
she
do
needs to be supported in a way that
Yeah.
allows her to do that, to like have somebody do the prep, so.
and people kind of,
That was supposed to happen and it's not happening.
Yeah,
John
That's
kind
the
of
issue.
works.
yeah,
That's the
I know,
issue.
I'll discuss it with her.
Is John the vice chair or?
But I'm gonna say, no one could have handled that meeting the way she handled it last week.
Was that?
I don't think anyone could have handled the way she did last night,
You need Tuesday.
on Tuesday.
Don't.
was probably something last.
The meeting you weren't at that were supposed to be at last night.
But from my understanding, there seems to be like consensus among a broad spectrum of perspectives, so, or how the, I mean, you guys were there, how it ended up.
I think a lot of that was due to her.
Yeah.
I think 90-something% of that was due to her.
Yeah, yeah. So all I'm saying is like, I don't expect it to be anything. I don't expect a lot of people to introduce multiple amendments, changes.
I
I don't think there'll be any, no, I don't think,
I
think
hope
the
she
only
attends the
important-
full board meeting.
She told me she was.
I
Yeah,
think the only thing to be concerned about right now is making sure everyone has time to read the resolution.
right. So
I just have a question because like with public session, like I just saw Laura, like EBCC is doing City of Yes, like series or something.
We're doing city series.
Series. And so that was making me think, like, I'm sure people will sign up for public session to speak, you know, on writing perspectives. But I'm wondering, like, it was pretty complicated in that meeting, even for people who, you know, you have deep knowledge, or, you know, or planner people who have deep knowledge. I imagine the board will have questions. And I imagine we'll also get a lot of public session, like feedback, so like how are we?
For on each side.
Yeah, no, I know, I guess, how are we thinking about structuring the meeting to make sure like everyone understands, like I don't know anything about special permits, so like I was just learning in that conversation. But I know, you know, about nature, I can tell you, I still don't know nature, mentioned what was going to be something about, but I think that it's really challenging, I think, for people who don't even have an entry point. They might have questions.
Well, maybe.
Should we have a special meeting before the meeting to discuss it?
I have a better suggestion. Maybe send around an email.
Every meeting in the past 3 months, please watch these videos and read these documents, like,
Was it
it's
a
a
hybrid?
commitment that we have.
It was.
As every member.
You really hear that?
You can watch it.
Not everybody knows everything about everything.
There's been,
You know, I
first of all, there
Five
are
hours
a
of
number
mine.
of people on that committee
And then
that do
another
have expertise.
4 or 5 hours doing
You know,
my
Damaris is
stipulations
one.
and minutes.
Yeah.
And then this meeting.
We know I've
I'll sit
been
in
member
for
Molly,
hours.
who's actually low income developer, you know, works for the low income developer. So there is expertise on the committee. But there have been, city's been doing all these workshops, there's videos of workshops. Their groups here have been doing workshops.
Goals did one,
What?
Goals did one.
Goals did
No,
one. So if people are interested, you know, the time to start finding out about it is not when you're going to vote on it.
I agree, I just want us to be prepared, sometimes that's where people are finding information. Whether it's the place to do it or.
Our board chair will handle it all.
There's a small chance I might have a family obligation, so
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I've encouraged people to do this over and over. I know people leave everything to the last minute, but
Can't start
like I said,
understanding that at the vote.
we can't be educating people about special permits or parking mandates or anything like that.
Not at the
But
full
we just
board.
can't do that.
Hopefully not parking minutes, since there aren't any over here.
I'm
Yeah.
just using.
No, no, I know,
I'm
I'm
just, we
saying.
can't go into explaining everything at the meeting, it's not,
Have we had our land use
not
training?
viable.
Have all the members done land use training? Is that required by this?
That's actually,
It's not. It's
that's
not
something that
It was
Molly
required
actually,
when I
Was it?
Maybe.
Required?
when I was
think the
walking
only
out,
part is
Molly
like-
said she would like to like offer like a professor or something in her program to do like our one-on-one.
She needs, yeah, she should discuss that with Damaris.
Okay, I was sure it was a
Yeah, she should, Damaris. Damaris and I have talked about
Did
trainings
you
in the past.
I should did it before, second way, we'll need to do it again.
Should we, I'm sorry, should we at the full board give, just not an explanation, but say basically, this was, time consuming for where we can't go into, into detail about it. If you choose to abstain due to that, that's fine, no?
No, I'm not
Oh,
disagreeing.
okay, all right, but just
I'm just
basically-
hoping that doesn't happen.
Okay, basically just a quick verb so that, because people will still ask questions even if they know, like, some people just wanna talk. And just having that, at least having that as an outline, like to say, okay, this is where we are. This is what we've done, spent 5 hours, we went through this, there's information online. We really don't have time to go into it in depth.
Yeah.
But if you have, there's a emotional and, before we can discuss that. But other than that, we have to keep it as brief as possible, because we don't have 5 hours. Huh?
I said, I really hope there's no motions.
I'm hoping that,
Probably
I'm
not.
hoping that Damaris shows up, so she can get it.
Yeah.
Damaris assured me that she would.
Yeah,
So
she'll-
So I
will
think
handle it.
she will,
Yeah, you know that.
she will chair the report.
Okay.
I just want to remind everyone, the full board meeting is at the Rose Auditorium for Cooperage. Because it's their commission.
Okay, any other questions about City of Yes? Something I'm missing, we'll deal with attendance, I guess, in September. I forgot to ask Michael actually that, we need to speak in the process to remove.
Yeah, you need to start it now, whether you see or not.
What do we do?
Some of the bylaws.
I'm sorry. it's
No,
my-
I know, but let's bring up, can we bring up with the bylaws on here, there's very specific language about what we should do. Okay. It's about members, new members, never shown up, and I think we have.
Oh, we
2
just,
months.
we just changed them. That's the part we just
This
changed.
is what we,
Yeah,
this
we
is
just
exactly
changed.
what we
And this
changed.
is the reason why.
I want to know the exact language, and I do know it's 2 months, and I did check that this, it's been over 2 months, this guy's never shown up.
There's a brand new.
Yeah,
Another one?
I think this is the same one.
Yeah, same one.
His name is Angel Guzman.
Oh, I-
Young people, right?
He's a high school.
Yeah, I think he was, not August, he's on here, but.
Yeah, no, he's a.
So it turns out the charter says you're only allowed to have 2 members under 18, we have 3 with this whole time.
The holiday time.
Really? Someone's under 18.
He's 16 or 17. He's going into his senior year of high school. I know.
He's very. Maybe senior college.
Did you think he was a mature person?
No, obviously not.
Dude, no, not person, that would be not better words.
I know I said something, but.
He's a young adult.
Here's,
Okay, let's read the bylaws.
this is the phrase or the point of meeting. If a board member is absent from all of the board members' meeting obligations during a 2-month period, the board chairperson shall propose that the executive committee take action. The executive committee may decide that the board member shall be contacted by phone and a written email advising the board member of their complete lack of attendance with a copy to the elected official who recommended the board member and the borough president. If an email is sent and if during the next month, the board member continues to be absent from all of their meeting obligations, the board chairperson shall propose the removal of the board member as set forth in section 1 below.
So you guys should vote on this.
So, well,
What do we vote?
It's already
We're
been-
voting to.
Well,
to send an email.
does it say vote? It just says the executive committee may decide that a letter should be
We
sent.
do that by vote.
Do we have to do it by vote or just?
So we just write a little note right now and do a roll call?
We'll do,
I mean, I think we could just vote on if we would send a letter,
Yeah.
and it would just be notifying them of
well,
this
give the
section.
person's name, Diane needs all of that information.
So,
She can't hear me.
And because this has to
Can you
go,
hear
this has to
Can
go
you
on the
hear,
vote sheet.
Diane? Are you hearing us, Diane?
Yes,
Apparently-
sorry, just listening to unmute.
So you need the person's name.
So it's Angel Guzman
Okay,
is the member that will be receiving a letter, and the letter will simply state, I mean, I think we can.
Is it letter or email?
It's an email, it says, yeah.
Okay,
It's an email. And then, I mean, I think it just simply states, you've been absent from all of your obligations for 2 months. Bylaws state this, and then,
Okay, she needs an exact motion to put in the
well,
motion.
I think we're motioning that we'll leave it up to Andrea to write
Yeah.
the letter.
motion
To write a letter,
Okay,
notify,
so
notify,
authorize the board chairperson.
To,
to write a letter.
to send an email.
To send an email about his lack of attendance, or the member's lack of attendance for the 2-month period, and she can craft the words.
And then what happens after that?
Well, and then it says, if the member is not, after the letter is sent, if the member continues to be absent for more than 1/3 of the meeting obligation, the board chairperson shall propose the removal of the board member set forth in the
Okay,
schedule.
so this month you're voting to send the email.
So send the
Next
email,
month
and if
you vote
if
to-
within the next month,
But we don't need to explain that. We're just-
No, no,
Yeah.
In September.
Yeah,
That'd
so,
actually be October.
is there anyone else? I mean, wasn't there? a couple
no, that's
people that
easy, the
were-
only one.
Where I thought there was a couple of people that were completely absent.
Not no show.
Yeah, this is a no-show for 2 votes. It's never shown. So do you have a motion? Did you get enough to get the motion?
Is there a second?
yeah,
Well-
the motion is that the board chair will write the attendance email to Angel Guzman.
But it has to be more than that he has not, attended meetings for 2 months.
2 months, yep,
And if he does not attend meetings, the board will vote, what is the language here? The board will vote to,
Well, if he continues to be absent for more than 1/3 of the meetings, the board chairperson shall propose the removal of the board member set forth in section below.
if he does not attend meetings, there will be a vote to remove him.
Okay, should we vote?
okay, got it. Okay, ready to vote?
Yeah,
Okay, Andrea Gordillo, Sarah Bachu,
Yes.
Michael is still out. Arnett Scott,
Yes.
Diane Lake, yes. Kathleen Webster, still out. Mei Lee,
Yes.
you. Dumaris, still out. Clint Smeltzer,
yes,
Trevor Holland. Can't hear Trevor.
Yes, yes,
You.
Hey,
And
Doug.
Vincent-
yes,
I'm sorry.
and Vincent Cerrito.
yes.
Right, thank you.
Diane, if you can send that, I need all those votes to put on the vote sheet tomorrow. So if
Right.
you- Yeah, so you just email me, even though it's all draft, is the only thing I was concerned about with the votes.
Okay,
Okay,
Thank you.
so we need to vote to adjourn.
wait, did we get a transportation update?
There isn't one.
Wait, did I? s-
I don't even know. Did you? Do you know?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. There's nothing to report.
Okay,
Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right. Are we ready to vote to adjourn?
yes.
Okay, Andrea Gordillo. Can't hear you.
Yes,
Thank you. Sarah Bachu,
Rosa, yes.
thank you. Michael Lavario, absent. Arnett Scott.
Yes.
Diane Lake, yes. Kathleen Webster, out. Mei Lee,
Yes.
thank you. Damaris Reyes, absent. Clint Smeltzer,
Yes.
Trevor Holland,
Yes.
and Vincent Cerrito.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Folks,